I'm going to go over a presentation hack here that I think can help you catch a lot of fish during algae blooms. Sometimes they can look disgusting. You just get almost like a crust on the top of the lake. You just get that blue-green algae that all comes up to the top, especially when you get calm, flat days where you get a lot of heat. Surprisingly, sometimes we'll find walleyes right underneath those algae blooms in less than 10 feet of water, sometimes less than 6 feet of water. Algae blooms don't necessarily slow down the fishing, but it can change the fishing. Now, one of the biggest challenges fishing a heavy algae bloom is it screws up just about every presentation that there is, in the sense that if you can try casting at fish, well, guess what? Your jig or your plastic, whatever it is that you're using, is going to get slimed up. If you try trolling through it, the algae slides right down your line and ruin the action on your crankbait. It just collects up on the bill. And so you can do some things like put a split shot or maybe a piece of rubber band or a bobber stop ahead of your presentation to try to collect some of the algae on your line, but it can be really difficult when that lake gets really slimy. And so one of the best things that I find when you get really bad algae blooms is just a heavy bottom bouncer. That'll collect all the slime up on your knot or up on your snap, and it has a tendency to collect on the bottom bouncer where your spinner can run clean behind it. But I'm going to show you a little trick or a little hack or a modification that really catches walleyes when you get later on in the summer. And so a lot of times we're running a spinner harness behind that heavy bottom bouncer, or shortening up that spinner harness, maybe 30 inches, 36 inches at the most. But here's something I like to do when you get these warm water temperatures and you get that heavy algae bloom, is do a double bladed spinner. And so if you're a musky angler, you know about the double cowgirl, you know, two blades working in tandem where you get extra vibration, you get a little bit of noise, those clevices and blades bump into each other. On a walleye rig, this could be really deadly. Warmer water temperatures, whenever you get stained turbid water from algae blooms. And basically what you're doing is you're just stacking up one clevis on top of the other, so that way these blades run in tandem. But you get a lot louder spinner harness, you get a lot more vibration. The other thing that I like to do when these water temperatures crank up is a lot of times we're just running just a single Aberdeen on the back end of it, just a long shank single hook, or less hooks to pick up debris on the bottom. And I might thread a half crawler, maybe 3/4 of a crawler on it, but I find that often is the case is just a piece of eye candy or a piece of gulp threaded on that long shank hook behind that harness is all you need, because again, you're using speed to trigger these fish. A lot of times, we might be running at say 1.4 miles an hour, even as fast as 2 miles an hour. If you're going to run faster speeds, the one thing you need to do is use a heavier line. And so a lot of times I'll tie these rigs up with either a 15 or even a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, and I'm using speed to trigger these fish. But come dog days of summer, those water temperatures are 80 degrees, these fish have a high metabolism. Throw that double blade at them in algae stained water, and that just seems to get bit. These walleyes really seem to like that extra vibration come midsummer.